And Don Luskin, King Dollar, bad for stocks? Bob Dole said it could be, at least partly so.
Well, this King Dollar is bad for stocks. I'm with Wayne on this. We're seeing the flight to quality trade again. Whiff of deflation. That's not good for anything.
Now, of course, Geithner and Summers came from the strong dollar Clinton-Rubin treasury. I think that's a bigger point than some people do. But it was the BRIC countries defending the dollar. It was Russia, and it was China in particular, and a non-BRIC country, Japan. They came to the dollar's rescue with very strong "we will buy dollars" and dollar security statements. What do you make of that? Because I think that's what's really at work here.
I think that's true. I think part of the story is, sidelining this idea that the world central banks, who are major holders of treasuries, the idea that they're going to stop buying them, that they're going to dump them, taking that mythology off the table is all to the good. But I think it's slightly a sideshow. I think what's right in the center of this circus is, just like Wayne said before the break, it's what is Ben Bernanke going to decide? Is he going to make the decision here to risk falling back into deflation by taking his foot off the accelerator, or is he just going to gun it and say, I'm not going to worry about inflation. I'm just going to make absolutely sure that we have no deflation going forward. That's the great decision, the great risk management decision he has to make right now. And for a guy who's getting positioned to be the systemic risk manager for the whole global economy under the new world order of Barack Obama's regulatory regime, I hope that he makes the correct risk management decision here and opts for inflation instead of deflation.
All right, you want inflation.
Is lethal.
All right, that's fair enough.
I just don't want deflation.
Okay, gotcha. Let me go to Wayne. It's bothering me. It's out there off of Bloomberg News and other reports. Number 2 man in the Senate, number 2 Democrat in the Senate, okay? He was in September, a rough briefing from Ben Bernanke and Henry Paulson, then Treasury man. Apparently, Mr. Durbin went out, sold his mutual funds, and bought a position in Berkshire Hathaway. Now, unfortunately, the Berkshire Hathaway thing didn't work out either, so there's an irony there. But in round numbers, he basically sold $116,000 in mutual funds and bought $98,000 in Berkshire Hathaway after this briefing, which was a confidential briefing. It was just a handful of leaders. Don Luskin, you have a problem with that?
Bet I do. We call it the culture of corruption. And that's the Democrats were just all about that.
But it could have been Republicans
who were getting
too.
Caught with stuff like this.
Republicans may have been in that briefing too. We don't know enough about this story. I mean, this is the culture of Washington corruption.
Well, you're right. And this is what happens when government gets too big. When government gets too big, too many people have too much power. They have too much inside information. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Flash. We've known that for centuries.
Yeah, I mean, this guy needs an investment strategist, and I think he needs an ethics investigation lawyer, because I don't think this is going to
I do not volunteer for either role.
Uh-oh.